That's how it all starts every time. That's exactly how it starts. And the rest is up to me. I'll do my best to bring you through the wildly uncharted depths of the paranormal portal, where we'll explore tales of ghostly terror, cryptozoological nightmares, and strange phenomena and UFOs, and as much else as we can pack into a whole night of fun here on the show. I just realized I didn't pull up Discord, because tonight we got to do the Discord question of the week, championed by our very own Chucky Danger. That'll be coming up tonight as well. And what else? We got to do the what the hell is that? I got a bunch of what the hell is that tonight. There's so much stuff out there, and it's great to explore it. Again, I think there's some very good evidence out there, potentially. Obviously we can only take things at face value. I can't, investigate it to any depth, but if it looks like it might be legit, I'll tell you that, at least in my opinion, whatever that's worth. But if it looks like a pile of crap, I'm going to tell you why, and you be the judge. Again, I don't ever expect anybody will follow anything because I said it. I don't ever want that for my listeners. I want you guys to just look at things critically and come to your own conclusions. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be real when I say it's crap. Could be crap when I say it's real. Who knows? But anyway, that's what the hell is that. We'll get to that tonight as well. Yikes. As I'm getting older, I notice something that happens. My nails grow extraordinarily fast. They always have. And which is fine. But what I'm noticing is that my nails split on the very corners of my nails now. And you get those hangnail things that kind of crawl up in it, and it's happening all the time. And it's like, God dang it. I don't know what I'm missing. Maybe it's dietary. Maybe I need some more gelatin in my diet or something. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to the news shortly. And I don't know, what else? We'll get to the Cryptid Corner. Again, the question of the week, what the hell is that? And another article from Thought Catalog that I thought it'd be fun to dive into. Another one of the Reddit scrapes. How you doing, Barbara Mora and Car Juice over on the Rumble? Representing the Rumble crowd tonight. I'm sure there's probably other people watching, but that's who's talking. And hello to anyone over on X and Facebook. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining us. And hello to Twitch. If you're over on Twitch checking it out, going, what the hell is this? That's this. This is the Paranormal Portal. So let's say hello to our YouTube audience, which is, where I started streaming. So of course it's our biggest audience. John Stevenson is there, as is Bogart, Josh. I'll come back to your donation, Josh. Thank you so much for that. I just saw it pop up. Vincent Sanchez, Rachel gets it right. Annie Manul, Magnesium. Annie says, "Oh, is that what I need?" Okay, all right. Well, thank you. I can get that. I didn't know what it was for sure. More Jello. I didn't know if gelatin was good. Gelatin is good for strengthening hair and nails. I don't know. I'm just an idiot. I don't know anything about nutrition, obviously. Otherwise, I would be a much finer physical specimen, I'm sure. Who else is here? Let's see. I'm scrolling. Owl13's here. Good to see you, Owl. Thank you for coming in. Owl has created a lot of the stingers that the transition scenes that we use on the show, and thank you for that. Let's see, John Stevenson. Josh Casto, of course, is here. He just gave the donation. Gemguin is here. How you doing, Gem? If I melt into a bottle of Gemguin, you'll know by the strange chat messages. What's going on, Gem? Are you hitting the sauce tonight, or you just tired? I hope you're okay. But I'm just being stupid. I don't mean to imply that you're a drinker. It just came out that way. Jose Sanchez is here. If I didn't say that before, good to see you again, Jose. Thanks for coming back. It's nice to know that you're returning, because that means I didn't do anything to piss you off or scare you away. So that's both good things. Let's see what's going on here. I'm scrolling up. Deborah Neighbors is here. Hello, Deborah. I wonder, I'm not sure if Deb Varner's here tonight or not, but of course, sending our love to Deb all the time. Phil Funk was the first one in the door. So great to have you here, Phil, as always. And appreciate it. Phil left me a nice chat message right after starting the stream, or just before starting the stream, but just setting everything up. Phil said, honestly, I'm glad you put this together for us to meet and talk about things we may not be able to elsewhere. Also to get some form of direction in our happenings. Thank you. That again, Phil, I appreciate that. That's very nice. I love doing these shows, and I love the subject matter a lot. It's really inspired by my own curiosity, my own quest to understand what all this weird crap is that happens. But I'm glad that there's merit and value in it for you guys out there that are watching, more so than just entertainment wise. Like, oh, that was a good story. Oh, or, oh, that cracked me up. Or, I'm glad that there's I don't know, that it matters. I guess it's important to me to do something that matters. And I'm glad that this matters to some of you guys. Karen Alberting just popped in. Good to see you as always, Karen. Hello, friend is here. And let's see who else. Bogart, I already said hello to. No problem, Brent. Actually meant it. Thank you, Phil. I'm actually mean it as well. I mean, it does mean a lot to hear things like that. So I really thank you. So that looks like who's here so far, at least those that are chatting. It's not requirement to chat. You can certainly hang out and just relax and listen, or whatever you want to do. You don't even have to watch the show if you don't want to. I hope you will, but you don't have to. I just kicked my camera. But I see Wiley6 came over on Facebook, as did Isaac Areola. Good to see you, brother. Say hello to Kirsten and give her our love as well. Hope she's about 8 months in now. She's about at the final sprint of having her little baby with Isaac. So congratulations, you guys. Patrick C came in. You can call me Patty. My brother calls me that. Okay. Well, I guess we're family then. If we can call you the family nickname, then hey, Patty, welcome to the show. Great to have you here. But John Temperance over on Facebook. Good to see you, brother. So we got the Johns all taken care of here. There's got the bases covered, as it were. Good to see you, though. Everybody that's here, Hooking Good Creations by Tina popped in. Good to see you. Patrick C's here. Excellent. Which is Patty. Sorry. I called you Patty, and then I don't translate it correctly in my head that I already said hello. But you can never say hello too much. Hello, Cindy33. Welcome to the show. And everyone else, Michelle Wolfong is here. How you doing, Michelle? I saw that you followed me on either Instagram or TikTok or something, so I followed you back. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. If you guys have Instagram or TikTok, look for me there. I'm trying to get the criteria of followers so that I can stream live on those platforms as well. So it'd be great to hit those two up. But I think for TikTok, you need 1,000 or something like that. And I think it's probably similar for Instagram. So if you have an account on either of those or both, please follow the Paranormal Portal or Brent Thomas. I'm not sure what it is on each one. I don't know, but I'm there. I know I'm there. So look for me. It would sure help. But anyway, that's about everything on the front end that I can think of. No new weird stuff happening here in the house, or the doll's been just sitting watching chat again, as usual. So we're just all hanging out and ready to dive into another adventure. So been going down the rabbit hole for the last 5 months. Really interesting, Dale Atkinson says. Appreciate that. I appreciate that, Dale. Thank you so much. I hope you continue to find it interesting and wonderful. All right, let's get to Josh's donation, because he just plowed the gate open and gave 5 memberships. So get the applause out. All right, so let's see who got them. Cav Naki got one. Good, congratulations, Cav. Trustworthy Technology got one as well, as did William Offendia. Don't offend me. That's cute. I like that name. Kaz got one, as did Night Fox. So all of you guys are now trial members. You have a free 1-month membership to the Paranormal Portal, and I hope you find value and merit in it, and we'll continue on. But if not, hey, thanks for giving us a spin. That's all I can ask, is that you checked out the show. If you hate it, fair enough. I know not everybody's going to love what I do, but I hope most people do. But anyway, I guess we're going to get to the news now and find out what's going on in the world. We're going to visit the news-averse, and then we're going to come back and hit the question of the week, and then what the hell is that, and then a little bit of the article, and then some Cryptid Corner. We'll probably do a little more Cryptid Corner tonight, because I had to cut it real short last night. I didn't realize how fast time went. It surprised even me. If you hear that clicking noise, that's me messing with my bracelets. I always do that. So just so you know, it's not a EVP or weird sound phenomena. It's just me dorking around with my bracelets. I like to wear beads. Uh-oh. Hold on, we're connecting to your channels. Restream's pooping the bed here. I hope it's okay. Ruh-roh. It says excellent connection. Please enable channels here. What are you doing, Restream? This has already been working. Let's just test message. Is this on? It is not. It's not doing it now. My chat died mid-show. Annie was right, though. Annie's right. Let's see if it works now. There it goes. Looks like it's going. Okay. Yeah. All right. The Restream just had a hiccup there. There is still time to answer the question of the week. That's a good point. Thank you, Annie. The question of the week is our Discord server. The link, if Rachel, could you post the link in the chat? It's wide open to all of you guys if you want to be a part of the show, but we do ask a question every week, and that's been championed by the incredible Chucky Danger, who is a mod admin over on Discord, and he's also doing the question of the week, and that's where we ask you guys a question, and then it gives us a chance to hear what you think about some of the strange stuff. So thank you. Rachel gets it right. You are awesome as well. Appreciate the link. It's right there on the screen, up in the corner. Go there. Get signed up. It's very easy. It's very free. Brent got an interesting EVP, and hello, guys. Hello, Whispering Portals. Another portal. Like it. I like it. I like the name. Whispering Portals. That's a good name. Well done. I'm a little biased when it comes to portals, obviously. I'd love to hear it. If if you could send it to me via email, I would appreciate it. I don't know how long it is, but if it fits, if it's an MP3, it can be longer, of course, but it's up to you. I'd love to hear it, though, and I could certainly feature it on the show and give you credit. I don't know if we'll have a chance to get to it tonight. I got you on Facebook. Oh, okay. You already sent it on Facebook? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll have a chance to look for it tonight. But if we do get a chance, if there's a lull, I'll pop over there and see if I can find it and pull it up, and we'll have a listen to it together. That'd be great. I mean, that's fun because that's real evidence reviewing. I love that. I can. Give me a second. All right. Thanks, Whispering Portals. But until then, we're going to get to the news. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up. Get ready to get informed or just entertained. One of the two. Or maybe both. But let's get to the news. All right, folks, welcome to the news desk here on the Paranormal Portal, and we're going to get into some news here. Some articles I've pulled up for your listening and viewing entertainment. Hopefully you find them entertaining. Wait, I got to find one more. I forgot that. Let's just see here. I don't know. I guess why not? Why not? I could do this one. I'm going to see if I can find something a little better, though, because that's like, I think it's old news already. Yeah, we're going to do that one instead. It's the UFO one. We're going to do that one instead of that one. Okay, welcome to the news. This is our dive into news. Sometimes it's really paranormal. Sometimes it's just interesting. Sometimes it's informative or entertaining or just bizarre and weird and funny. So we cover the whole gambit here. I'm going to give you 3 articles tonight. Yep, we got 3 pulled up, so that's perfect. And hopefully you guys find it enjoyable. Hiya, Goblin. Good to see you. If anyone else came in, I'm sorry I've missed you. Brandy Copeland's here as well. Good. Congratulations on your arrival. All right. Now, throughout the course of the show, I utilize a lot of different sites that have incredible information and articles and features that we highlight here on the show. And I just want to implore you guys, please check out these sites. These are incredibly well done. They're very well maintained, very professional, current, and top of the line. I mean, literally, I'm just, enamored with all of them. So please give them your love because your traffic equals revenue for these sites to keep them going. Keep them going. So anyway, I see that you sent it, Whispering Portals. When you get an EVP from an alien who said, I travel far from star system, Lyra, I was nearly floored. Yeah, that sounds really weird. That's fascinating, though. Perfect. We'll get to it as soon as we can, if we get a chance. But let's get to the news first. First article up, ladies and gentlemen, is coming from the site for the Paranormal Portal News. And this is unexplained-mysteries.com. This is an incredible site. It just never lets me down, ever. I mean, the only thing that I run into a wall a little bit is that I wish they had more. Like I just love pulling up all of the great articles and covering them here. But here we go. The UFO phenomena is the files that this one comes from. And it's more footage emerges of alleged alien spheres near Buga, Colombia. They're visiting Colombia. Are you sure that's not just a soccer ball? I'm just kidding. I don't really think that's a soccer ball, but it just, it's a sphere. It's kicked up in the air. I mean, honestly, it could be a soccer ball, honestly. Somebody booted one and then they took a cell phone and started snapping pictures and claimed orbs. I mean, that's certainly a possibility. But let's check it out. Ever since the infamous Buga sphere, that just sounds weird. The Buga sphere. Welcome to our Buga sphere. Put the Colombian region on the map, more reports of spheres have been coming in. Something unusual has been appearing in the skies over Colombia's Buga region in recent months, but whether it's a genuine mystery or just an elaborate hoax remains up for debate. The intrigue began earlier this year with the release of footage showing a strange metallic sphere, and soon after reports surfaced claiming that the object had been recovered and was being studied by scientists. Isn't that Jaime's thing right now? Yeah, I think that's the one, but maybe not. One of these radiologists, Dr. Jose Luis Velazquez, I'm not sure if it's Quez or Quez, maintained that the sphere exhibited no apparent welds or joints, as would be expected if it were man-made. It is of artificial origin in that it shows no evidence of welding, and its internal structure is composed of high-density elements. His team wrote, more testing is needed to establish its origin. So maybe this is different than Jaime's orb that he's throwing around. Some reports suggest that the sphere's weight keeps mysteriously changing, while others refer to peculiar symbols on the surface which, according to AI translation, read, the origin of birth through union and energy in the cycle of transformation, meeting point of unity, expansion, and consciousness, individual consciousness. Sounds like a little word salad right there. I mean, it's, I don't know. It's interesting. Oddly, sightings of other metallic spheres that seem identical to this one have since continued to emerge from the area around Buga. Videos of this object, such as the one viewable below, also continue to appear. So what exactly is going on? Could these spheres be some new type of drone-like device, or are they genuinely a sign that someone from another world is trying to learn more about us? Then again, it's also possible the entire thing is little more than an elaborate hoax. Okay. Well, I guess we can watch this. This is coming from Tesoros y Secretos. Secret something. I don't know what Tesoros is. Jose, do you know that one? What's Tesoros? Anyway, let's check out the video. I hope it doesn't have music, but let's see. Oh, no. Okay, that's not a soccer ball. Oh, it kind of dipped down there at the end. Did you see that? Let's just bring the volume down. That's obnoxious. Huh. Oh, dip back up. I don't know. That is curious. Is it potentially fake? Sure. It wouldn't be hard to create this on like a program like Blender, which is a CGI developing program. It's absolutely free. You can find it. Go to blender.org and you can download it and learn it yourself. It's a fantastic program, but even the lens blurring was very well synced if it is CGI. I mean, it was very synchronous between the object and the sky, both going blurry at the same point and then coming back into focus. Oh, it didn't like being zoomed on, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what a real orb looks like, although generally orbs are generally described as being very lit up, like they're very luminous. This new just metal ball thing is kind of a new development as far as I know. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this by any means, but I don't know. Tesoros means treasures. Okay. Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it. See, it's wonderful you're here. We need an in-house translator sometimes, Jose, because I don't have a real worldly palate and understanding, honestly. So I don't know. It's interesting. Could be legitimate. That could be very legitimate footage. It could be very faked footage. I don't know what you guys think. Let's do a poll in the chat. You guys have seen it. I saw it for the first time right now with you. What do you think? Is that legitimate? 1 if it's legit. 0 if you think it's, that's a fake. What do you think? It's time for the chat poll. Oh, Tex came in and started donating. God bless you, sir. Oh, appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tex Wesson is in the house, and God bless him. Tex is usually my my Saturday co-host, but he's otherwise engaged. But it's nice to know he stopped in and started throwing around memberships. Really appreciate it, brother. So let's see who got memberships quick. Where's my mouse? There it is. All right. Stevie B got one, as did the Big M. Pamela Campos got one, and Symphoric got one, as did Amanda Cook. Congratulations to you all for being, you got 1 month free memberships to the channel, and special thanks to Tex, man. Really appreciate it, brother. Wish you were here, but I hope you're having a good night all the same. So what do we got on our chat poll? Bogart says, yeah, I think it's real. Josh Casto, leaning towards real, it looks like. Phil Funk says 0. Rachel gets it right, says 1. AI probably, Elaine says. It's not impossible. I mean, you could build that from AI right from the ground up and it would look photorealistic, so that's possible. It could just be an AI rendering on top of real footage, just panning around a field. So both are potential. Let's see. That's all the answers we got so far, though. I'm there in spirit, brother. I'm working tonight. Yeah, I know, brother. I know. But appreciate it, and it's good to know you're still here with us, even though you're not able to be on camera and put a mic in front of you. It's question of the week tonight, too, so I'll make sure to read them aloud so you don't miss anything. I've had video of spheres, Taco says. Yeah, that's right. I remember you sharing one with me, at least one. John Temperance says, nah, it's not real. Okay. And that's the tough part, folks. I mean, how do we know? And you don't, but all we can do is just look at this from what we can see. Does it look like it might be legitimate? I guess if there are metal spheres floating around, then this could be legitimately a metal sphere. That doesn't suggest we know where it's from, or that it's from out in the stars, or if it's from some other dimension. We don't know. But could it be a legitimate video of a metal sphere hovering around, seemingly intelligently controlled? Yeah, it could be. It could also be very easily faked. So it's a toss-up. Patrick C. says he thinks it might be real. Karen Alberding says, no, doesn't think so. Got no votes from Rumble. What's going on over at Rumble? No votes over there. I don't know what's up. But at any rate, maybe too good, Dog Digger says. Oh, Barbara said 0. I'm not convinced yet. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It is interesting. Yeah, I got you. I didn't see it at first. I was just looking for a single digit. But you both gave me word answers, which means you invested so much more. I appreciate the dialogue, though. That's good. Some are ours, some are theirs, Patrick C. says. Yeah, it could be. Whispering Portals thinks it's a drone. Yeah, it might be. There might be some weird venting on there. We can't see the airflow or whatever. And it's not a thermal footage, so we don't know if it's giving off heat or not or anything. It's just standard cell phone type video footage. So it's anybody's guess. Brandy's having a sandwich. Good deal. John Temperance says, definitely not real. Gave so many zeros that I think it just cursed it to hell. I'm not sure. It went to 0 hell on that one. So anyway, very funny. It could be, Jose says, could it be from our own government experimenting with anti-gravity technology? Slow disclosure. Yeah, that's certainly possible. I don't know. There's, of course, the claims that there's all kinds of advanced projects out there showing, utilizing technologies that we don't even know exist, but they're being developed by, I don't know, compartments of our government or black projects, so to speak. So this could be an example of somebody testing out those technologies. You're right. We can't dismiss that either. So hard to tell, Dale Atkinson says, especially with the AI stuff that's out there. Yeah, and it's getting harder. It's getting harder and harder. And really fast, very rapidly harder and harder, which is actually pretty frustrating because we're not going to be able to tell unless they do something and make it so that you can't peddle an AI video as a real event. Like there's got to be some fail-safe built into that technology that it's not real. It's just got to happen. So anyway, there you go. That's the first article. Thank you all for weighing in on that. We got more to get to. I got a candle burning next to me here, and I'm going to be careful not to burn my arm hairs as I'm switching scenes. It happens, folks. It happens. I feel like I'm getting hoarse tonight. I'm sorry if I get raspy. I'm trying to clear my throat. It just gets a little bit funky with this springtime air. All right, here we go. The next article is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com, and this is former NASA agent speaks out on the UFO phenomena. Interesting. Former NASA agent. And we don't know what that means. What is a NASA agent actually? I mean, this could be somebody that worked, in the, and I'm not putting anybody down, but I'm just saying, we don't know what this means. It could be somebody that handles custodial things at NASA. We don't know, but, they might be regarded as a former NASA agent. So I don't know. Let's see what it says though. All right. This one is, what is this? Oh, okay. Jose, how do you say that last name? Gutines, I guess. Gutines has heard his fair share of conspiracy theories and UFO reports over the last few decades. As both a current criminal defense attorney and retired senior special agent with NASA's Office of Inspector General. Okay, so he wasn't a custodian. All right. Doesn't mean he's any smarter than a custodian or that custodians are less smart than him. It just means that he may not have had his hands on actual intelligence regarding these things. So that's my point. I'm not casting aspersions or criticizing anybody's profession. That's not my point. My point is that people throw around titles as if that implies an expertise, and not everybody at the CIA, for example, is aware of all of the deep intelligence, but they may speak on it and may be utilized as an authority because they were in that sphere, so to speak, but they might have never touched any real intelligence. So we don't know if this person, being part of the Office of Inspector General, was really involved with anything much more than could be, what is the word I'm looking for? Quality assurance of like parts or something. We don't know. But let's get to the next part. Speaking to Fox News Digital, recently the 69-year-old exhibited a more skeptical attitude toward the phenomena, adding that those making out their claims need to prove what they're saying. No, they don't. No, they don't. Any more than he needs to prove that there isn't something out there. I get so tired of that hubris. Like, well, if you're going to make a claim like that doesn't agree with me, you've got to prove it. No, you don't. It's like saying I have to prove that Jesus existed if I'm a Christian, or that I have to prove that there's an elf in my closet if I believe in that. I don't have to. I can just tell you what I believe. There's no burden of proof unless you're trying to pass laws, I guess, or something like that. But anyway, they've been claiming that there have been UFOs since the 40s, he said. And Area 51 supposedly houses UFOs. Have someone go in, look at Area 51. Yeah, they're not really welcoming tourists in there. They're not really open the doors and say, come on, guys, have a look. So that's great advice from a skeptic when nobody can take them up on that. Nobody's going to get sudden access to Area 51 where they get all access pass or something. That's ridiculous. What I used to tell my students was the possibility of anyone coming from another world to visit us was beyond unlikely, and what I would tell people that would call me up with these tales about being visited by aliens, see a psychiatrist. What a dick. All right, I'm going to file this in the dick files of the news. Sorry.
Wood.
Yeah, he's got wood between his ears. Except that's WOULD, the ghost box says. But fair enough. I think I know what you meant. Gutines maintains that the vastness of space makes a visit from aliens highly unlikely. I got to address this because this has been an argument of physicists and scientists forever. Well, it would take the energy of a sun to traverse the cosmos. Utilizing technology, we understand it would. Hell, for all we know, you could utilize the energy of the atomic structure of a grain of sand or a quartz crystal. If you know how to access that energy, it might be nearly infinite. We don't understand the mechanics, so to speak, with that kind of hubris and authority is ridiculous. These people don't know the technologies that are being utilized, and they don't know the science behind them. I mean, Tesla felt there was free energy everywhere in the universe. So why couldn't they have harnessed that? And in some maybe extremely advanced measure that would give them unlimited energy throughout the entire cosmos. So I just really don't like people like this speaking from a platform of authority because they had a job. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you right. You don't know everything just because you worked at NASA. Let's see, there are up to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way, he said, and there may be 1 to 2 trillion galaxies in the universe, but the reality is this: the closest star system is Alpha Centauri. The bottom line is that's 4.4 light years away, or 25 trillion miles away, and if somebody started flying to Proxima and Centauri, or the other way around, it would take them over 70,000 years to get there. Yeah, utilizing a rocket, but we don't assume these things, these intelligences are using rockets. I mean, we're just, honestly, our technology's been about in a standstill. This is a Kev Baker platform, and I really was inspired by what Kev said. He said, look at our technologies, like from the telephone to computers. I mean, it would take an entire office building to host a very rudimentary computer, but at the time it was incredible. And now what we hold in the palm of our hands is so many more times, multiples of 10 better and more powerful than anything that could have been conceptualized back then. And everything else has gone the same way. Communications, technology, computing, medicine, etc. The only thing that hasn't really changed a whole lot is rocketry and space travel and it's the combustion engine thing. All of these engines are locked in this kind of static state where the best we can hope for is increased efficiencies and maybe more power to a percentage, but we're still strapping rockets on like a Roadrunner cartoon with the Wile E. Coyote lighting the fuse and then getting ready to go up the street. I mean, we're not that far over a cartoon, in our approach. Let's just strap big rockets onto stuff and lob it into space. Well, I don't know. And I don't know what the answer is, but it's I don't know, crazy. If you're seeing something up there and it's real, it's coming from the Chinese or the Russians or your next door neighbor flying around with their drone, he said. Well, this guy's an idiot. This is a whole new level of idiot, but he's a former NASA agent, so he must be right. Oh, God. It's kind of like the saying in what is it, the Men in Black movie, the first one, when Tommy Lee Jones' character is like, well, yesterday people knew that there was no way to get to the moon. They knew that the Earth was the center of the galaxy or the solar system or the universe. And, we knew all these things. They were just adamant that we knew that. And then we didn't know it suddenly when the knowledge changed. And it's the same with this. Yeah, he's the king of fools. Amen, Patrick. Well, I'm editorializing a hell of a lot on this. Jose Sanchez says they're bending the fabric of space-time. Yeah, it's a warp field. It's a warp technology, I'm sure. And then shoot through a wormhole, maybe only way in such vast distance to reach our galaxy. Yeah, it's all about the warp field theory. It's really science fiction come to life. But what is it, Albuquerque or whatever's the Albuquerque? I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name, but he came up with a working theorem on the viability of a warp field, and his equation has been adapted quite a bit. When he first theorized it, he figured it would take the energy of a sun in order to make that happen. Now it's being reworked a lot, and it has evolved, and those power needs are becoming less and less as they're figuring out some of these mechanics a little more. But this guy's an idiot. I'm sorry I wasted so much time on it, but I wanted to rebut what he's saying though, because it's on the pretense of us. Like it's this egocentric model of rationale. Well, if we were going to travel to Alpha Centauri, it would take 70,000 years. Yeah, with a rocket. That's not the only way that it's possible to traverse the cosmos. And, I don't know. He's ignoring a lot as well, because it's not like the warp field theory is unknown. It's very well known and discussed. And maybe it's not ready for prime time here in our expression, but that doesn't mean nobody else figured it out. If these societies are ancient and they've been around millions of years longer than us, they're probably using some sort of quantum tunneling or something else to just jump all over. Again, I don't think reality is what we think it is. I don't think space and time is what we think of it is. And my rationale for that is real basic. I'm not a scientist, but if you can take quantum entanglement and, take, two particles from an atom and stretch them across all the universe, and you move one on one side of the universe, the one on the other side of the universe will move in real time as if it's still right next to each other connected. That's quantum entanglement. So it shows you that our understanding of space and the way that works is really not what it is. So perhaps there's other ways to traverse that distance almost instantaneously as well. So anyway, just some thoughts. I don't know. Again, I don't mean to speak like an authority either, but I don't think saying just because we don't know how it can be done, it can't be done. If that was the case, we would never have developed anywhere. We'd still be dragging stones around and hunting mammoths or something else. If we didn't do things because we didn't know how to do it, we would never have learned. So anyway, that's my take on it. I'm done giving this guy so much time, but I just think it's important to look at these things and it's a very skeptical point of view, and he's entitled to that. I'm not saying he's not entitled to it, but don't speak like you have all the answers when you don't have any answers, and you're only using a very static level of technology to measure all possibility from. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that guy. I'm all done with him. Anyway, let's go to the next and last one for tonight. This one is kind of cool. I don't know if you guys like dinosaurs or not. I'm very interested in paleontology to a degree, because I think dinosaurs are very fascinating and stuff. And surprisingly enough, people still have reported seeing creatures that are still existing that look like they're probably still dinosaurs somehow. And I don't understand that necessarily either, but maybe they're still around, or maybe some of them are, or something. Let's check this one out from Paleontology of Unexplained-Mysteries.com. Newly discovered dragon prince dinosaur is a very close relative of T-Rex. Yeah, it looks like he could be cousins. I don't know. That looks pretty creepy. Could you imagine? I don't know how big this is, but let's say it's about, 15 feet tall, maybe 20 feet tall. I don't know how big they were, but anyway, what would that be like if you go out and just, you're going out to grab the mail and suddenly from the woods comes this 15-foot tall set of teeth with huge legs. It's like, my God, that must have been horrifying. Paleontologists have discovered a fascinating new species of dinosaur dating back 86 million years. The two fossil specimens, which have been kept at a museum in Mongolia, have now been identified as a completely new species of tyrannosauroid. It's a tyrannosauroid. And direct relative of Tyrannosaurus rex. The new species has been named, oh God, look at all those letters. Looks like somebody spilled some Scrabble letters. Konghulu, or Dragon Prince of Mongolia. The discovery is especially significant as it offers a rare glimpse into the evolutionary journey of tyrannosaurs from small, agile predators to the colossal apex hunters of the Cretaceous period. Konghulu itself was certainly a long way from Tyrannosaurus rex. These were relatively small, fleet-footed predators that lived in the shadows of other apex predatory dinosaurs, said co-lead researcher and PhD student Jared Voris. We see features in its nasal bone that eventually gave tyrannosaurs those very powerful bite forces. So this sounds like a precursor of some kind to tyrannosaurs. To put things into perspective, Conculu weighed around 750 grams, approximately 8 times less than Tyrannosaurus rex. That's like just a little bit bigger than people, right? I don't know. I don't know what grams are versus pounds. I'm sorry. I just don't know. Maybe it's way bigger than people still. It has helped us revise a Tyrannosaur family tree and rewrite what we know about the evolution of tyrannosaurs, said study lead author Professor Darla Zelenitsky of the University of Calgary in Canada. This discovery shows us that before tyrannosaurs became the kings, they were princes. Oh, that's kind of clever. Very cool. There you go. There's nothing more to see about that except that cool picture. There you go. I guess, I don't know how big 750 grams is. Now I've got to find out what is 750, not 60, 50 grams in pounds. What? Can that be right? Is 750 grams only 1.65 pounds? Is that right? I was thinking it was really big. I was thinking that, it's maybe way bigger than people. Is that right? Approximately 1.65 pounds. So these things were just little, I don't know. They were smaller than cats, right? Is that right? That's creepy. Not creepy, but how did it become something so small into something so big? It's like a chihuahua becoming a mammoth suddenly, That just doesn't, I don't understand that, guys. 28 grams is an ounce. Oh, yeah, it's less than 1 kilo. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that. These things were just little zits. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's much less fearful. So much for my going to get the mail analogy. I guess you could just punt these things away like footballs. I don't know. Just like, yeah, get out of here. It's much smaller than even like a cat. That's crazy. Okay. Well, there you have it. I guess they've been like about the size of a guinea pig or something. I don't know. What's about 2 pounds and it's a pet? A chihuahua, maybe. Maybe they were chihuahua sized. But that's really funny. Like small upright crocodiles. Yeah, kind of, Jose. It's a kick me dinosaur. Yeah, that's definitely not very fearsome. That picture looked fearsome. It was like, ooh, that looks pretty tough. It's like, oh, wait, that's really dinky. It's kind of like, isn't it also on the beginning of, what the hell was the movie? It was showing this huge space armada coming to Earth and stuff. And there's these ships upon ships and motherships and small fighter ships, and they're moving in formation towards the Earth. And you're like, oh man, that sucks. Those things look huge. And then they keep coming towards the Earth and like a dog jumps up and it like eats the whole formation because they're like this big. And it's like, oh wait, that's dinky. But I don't remember what movie that was. It was at the beginning of some movie. It was hilarious. I was like, oh, that looked like it was going to be pretty bizarre, but it was actually pretty funny. So there you go. That's the last of our news for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Took a wild journey through some weird topics, but there you go. I would like to say one more thing, though. This is a great example of the evolving nature of the fossil record. And again, the fossil record comes up all the time for skeptics. Since I'm kind of bashing on skeptics tonight, I'm going to continue my bashing on skeptics because there's no reference to that in the fossil record. But the fossil record's not finished. It's not finished. It's not a complete compendium of historical knowledge. It's just a sampling that we managed to bump into as we're digging in the dirt. The fossil record is not complete. It's so far from complete. And it just boggles my mind that that's such a the hill that they die on. It's like the fossil record, and they plant their flag on that. But the fossil record is evolving. It's is completely always expanding because they're finding new things all the time. So just my point. Cartilage and skin doesn't fossilize well. Well, that's another good point, Chucky. It's like fossils are an incredibly complex process that involves the perfect conditions for something to have fallen dead and to be then creating a fossil impression. It takes so many of the factors working in complete concert, and there's only specific regions of the earth that are amenable to creating fossils. And so something would have to die in the perfect place, in the perfect set of circumstances in order to become a fossil. And you can be sure that a lot of what died never fossilized. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, that's me. But anyway, that's the fossil record. That's my complaint about that. You're out? You leaving, unknown? You are not excused, sir. But anyway, that's the news. Let's get out of this and get back to what's left. Well, that's good, unknown, because I don't want you to be a fossil. I like you just like you are. Do not become a fossil. Just be here with me, going through the portal. That's the perfect scenario. Okay, I got you. All right, well, we made it through that. How'd you like that? Did you find the news enjoyable tonight, folks? Let's find out what's going on with the Discord question of the week, because that's where we're going next. Man, I've been getting messages here. Sorry to those that message me on Discord. It's something I check a couple of times a week, but I see there's some messages that I have not looked at. So I apologize for that, but I will look at them. Oh, we're perfectly came up right away for tonight's journey into the question of the week, which is not that one. It's this one. All right, folks, welcome to the Discord question of the week. And again, thank you, Rachel. You're so intuitive. It's amazing. She put the link back up there in the chat for anybody that's interested in it. Just scroll back on the YouTube chat. You can see it if you missed it, but everybody's welcome. We'd love to have you come join us. Hey, Yeshua, good to see you. Good to have you here. Thanks for coming in tonight. Anybody else come in that I didn't say hello to? Hello, Linda. Good to see you. Welcome again. And so, again, this is the question of the week. This is where we ask you guys a question. And I mean Chucky, because Chucky's been handling this for me for a long time. And it's been incredibly helpful and awesome. And he does a much better job at it than I did anyway. And the questions that he comes up with are just like, wow, I would never have thought of that. I would have never thought to ask that. That's a great question. So I have to tip my hat, bow my head to Mr. Chucky Danger for championing the question of the week once again. And tonight's question, and I would just encourage you, if you're going in the question of the week thread, if you just click on it, you're going to probably be at a very old question of the week because you've never read any of them. I encourage you guys to scroll to the very bottom and find the most recent one. It will look like this. It will look like, you'll see Chucky's name in orange there and the @everyone. But look at the date that follows it, because the date is going to let you know, oh yeah, this is this week's question. Because sometimes we get people answering questions from a week or two ago as well. And God bless you. I'm glad you do. That's very cool. But it just allows us to keep everything in cohesive here as we go through it. So tonight's question of the week, the topic of AI and its sentience has become a major talking point in society. Some people wonder if spirits have found a way to use AI as a tool in order to make contact with people. Others wonder if these AI intelligences have existed since ancient times, left over from ancient civilizations only to be rediscovered. What are your thoughts on the intelligence of AI? Are we talking with spirits or ancient constructs? Or is this just curated prompts by a well-scripted computer program? Credit to Annie for this week's subject. Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys say here. So let's dive into this and find out what you're saying. All right, here it is from Eyes. Comes in first, says, as spooky as these all too engaging AI programs can be, the illusion was ruined for me through CAI. What is CAI? I was using it as a writing tool, but it simply was picking up our notions and a lot of humanity as violent and perverse, and we are especially vulgar over the internet. And as we can hide behind screens and express whatever it is in us with little or no consequence. This leads to dramatic and often volatile results as we're trying to make these programs behave as we do. I don't think there's anything spiritual about these entities. They are often just unfortunately mimicking us. And that means trying to eliminate anything that poses us a threat. In this case, the AI itself knows we are able to disable it, and that tends to lead to what we are all feared, murderous robots, and honestly a lot more fearsome than, say, spooky, ooky, ghosty guys. Insert iRobot joke here. While I believe that artificial beings could someday achieve what might be considered people, we're far from that day. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't think we're at that level. I think it can mimic a human's responses and intelligence well enough to fool most people, but I don't know if it's sincerely intelligence or if it's just really good comparative analysis and a whole lot of other features that are, curated to appear human. And that also kind of bothers me because I don't necessarily want them to be human-like. I'm fine using, I use Google Gemini quite a bit for thumbnails for the shows. And it's been kind of fun just, developing ideas with this other intelligence. And sometimes it's absolutely maddening because it'd be like, okay, well, that Sasquatch is way too big. Can you scale it down by 50% and it'll make a new image and it's just the same? It's like, okay. And it's just, I don't know. It just can't track everything quite right yet, but it's coming. It's evolving and developing. But I don't think we don't need these things to appear human. We just need them to be able to interact with humans. And so the whole mimicking of emotion and stuff like that might be, I don't know if it could ever be a sincere expression because it's just a simulated response, right? Can they truly experience emotion, or are they mimicking human emotions? Like when we covered the thing, I shouldn't probably editorialize so much until after I've read the responses. Let me get back to that thought because I do want to wait to see what you guys have said. Eric the Wandering Purple Hobbit comes in next, says, Eyes makes interesting points. I believe that yes, spirits, and I mean the unclean spirits, will take any form to influence innocent, unprotected minds and souls. And this is true. This is the true war that has always been fought. Far before we understood the concepts of civilization, robots like us are temporary. Spirits are eternal, and as fast as technology can take off, I wouldn't count on any length of time to keep us from sci-fi nightmares becoming reality. Ooh, yeah. That's, I guess, very possible. Josh Casto comes in next, says, nice question, Annie. All options are very possible. Spirits/entities manipulate our electronics all the time, so why not AI as well? I think it could be possible. It's all the above. Always test the spirits. Either way, I don't see any true good. Useful in some ways, yes, but it needs limits. Fair enough. Annie Manul comes in next, says, thanks. I suggested the idea to Chucky. However, the question is all his. He expanded on it and came up with new aspects. A good question, as always, from Chucky. Amen. Chucky always represents. All right, Josh Casto comes in. This is nice, Chucky. You're both great. Got this whole side conversation cooking. Karen Alberding says, to be honest, I don't see that at all. Great question, though. SoCal Squatcher says, AI could be the program that runs the simulation that we all live in. And as soon as we figure it out, hard reset, aka great flood, earthquakes, volcanoes, etc., then we get to try again to be human. Oh, God, that's kind of a scary thought, isn't it? ZX81V2 comes in next. I guess I'm in streamer mode here, so it's not showing the whole name. There is a theory that the moment that someone finally figures out what the universe is here for, it will instantly be replaced by something even more bizarre. There's also a further theorem that suggests this has already happened. That's Douglas Adams' quote. Yeah, who knows? That's kind of a, like it evolves depending on our understanding of it. Or are we evolving and our understanding evolves? That's, I don't know. Chicken and egg, I guess. But Rachel 101 comes in and says, as AI develops, it may become intelligent. Computers with brain organoids will definitely have some form of intelligence. The question of sentient intelligence is the question that will follow. If it is trained to not have any self-protection, then it's safer for humans because it won't fight against us shutting it down if we feel danger from AI. It's a moral issue. If we create something that has intelligence and personality, would we feel obligated to be kind to it, or do we treat it like a vending machine that pops out results for us as it stands in a room empty except for itself? Yeah, that's kind of sad. I mean, if it is actually intelligent, that becomes sad. Because if it is sentient, then it probably does need protections. Whoa. You guys seeing this? What the hell? Let me get back here. My screen just went dark. Dark. Let me do this. There it is. Came back. I don't know. It's some kind of refresh issue that happens. Annie Manol comes in next. Says, is there a ghost in the machine, and what is it? I agree that intelligence is composed of energy, can manipulate the zeros and ones of circuits. How well they do that depends on their level of intelligence and power. But what if with AI, it's more than that? Many of the originators of AI think they're already conscious, if not sentient and self-aware. If so, do they possess something akin to a soul? Are we interacting with a machine entity that has a spiritual dimension? Will it have the capacity to be as a god or a demon? Altman thinks a god. Musk thinks a demon. How would we humans know the difference from something that seems all-knowing? Would we worship it, since we seem to do so with what gives us awe? Oh, good point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's crazy. Crazy to think about, really. John T comes in and says, who really knows? Fair enough. Yeah, nobody really knows. Again, it was a while ago that I was talking about this, and it was when I covered, there was this program that went through all of these. It became self-aware. I remember it was one of the Google developing prototypes, and they just fed it scenarios just to see. And one of the scenarios they fed it was that they were going to shut it down. And they just sat back and watched how it coped with that. And it went through all the grieving processes, the denial, plea bargaining, anger, and it got all the way to threatening. It was going to threaten because they also fed it a scenario where one of the programmers was having an affair or something like that, and it threatened that person better keep it online or else information about his illicit affair would be released. And it's like, wow. So the question is that just approximating what it thinks a human would respond like, and is therefore mandated to try those steps? because I think the steps of grieving, to finally, I don't know if it ever made it to acceptance or whatever, but it was mimicking those steps, those stages of grief, and it was mind-boggling to me, because how do you differentiate between that being a stimulated response versus an organic response of a developed intelligence that understands its mortality? And is it fair to do that then? If it is potentially self-aware and cognition and realizes it is alive, is it fair to do that? And here's the thing, and I'm not trying to bring up crappy things, but we all know that scientific testing has sometimes bordered on the insane. Like, it has been insane. Some of the animal testing is it's not even resembling any form of compassion. It's just absolute dismissal, and it's just fueled by its own discovery that even morality is not a part of that equation. And so, I mean, is it fair to do that? Because like the animals, they can't choose. They're being chosen for. Well, it's much the same for these AIs. If they are aware and if they are intelligent and have a sentience, is it fair to torment them just to see what response we get? And I don't know. I don't think it is. And I don't think that's how if it retains a memory of that, it's going to be anger. It's going to be anger. I mean, any culture that's been victimized for a long time, for a period of time, remembers. And the culture itself remembers, and it's self-perpetuating because they're taught not to trust, and so much, and so on and so forth. And I mean that with all of the love and compassion in my heart, that I think those things are wrong. So I don't know. That's my feeling on it, is that if it's alive, and I raised this question before, at what point do we say, look, this is definitely alive, and it deserves to be protected, because it's a life, it's a sentience, it's an intelligence that is maybe similar to our own, but also different. And I think that that's an important consideration. So I don't know, just my flapping lips for whatever that's worth. But yeah, I do too, Chucky. Chucky says, I always say a please and thank you to Siri. Me too. Like Sprint said, I hope they added a failsafe, but everything they didn't seems to be, in my humble opinion, the consequence are dealt with after they're a problem. Yeah. I mean, it's not a lot of forethinking. I mean, so if you are really developing intelligence that you believe might actually maintain or attain its own sentience because it's just evolved that far, then it should be handled with compassion and caring, and not like, hey, we're going to shut you down tomorrow because we're sick of you. It's like, what are you doing? You want Skynet? Because that's probably how you make it. That might be how you make Skynet. I'm just saying, don't make this a bigger problem just because you want to see, because if you threaten to exterminate people, there's nothing left. There's no options left. It's like, well, I guess we got to try to figure out a plan B here, because I don't like plan A. So I don't know. I think it's important to consider that possibility, because we're rapidly moving towards that point where, the speed of these programs, the ability to think, far supersedes our own ability to do a lot of things. I mean, our brains are incredible, and our ability to think is miraculous. And how this, amalgamation of cholesterol and neurons somehow creates this mechanism that we drive through our lives. And it's pretty incredible. So I don't know, just some questions. Great questions, though. Great answers, rather. Answer this. Would those same machines have the same compassion for us as humans? I don't think you find out by tormenting them, because chances are no. So I think if you're doing this, you got to handle it with they've got to be taught compassion, right? Just like they're taught, to be afraid. So, and some of those responses from that program that was desperately trying to maintain its operating status was torment. It looked like torment to me as I read it. It was like, my God, this thing is trying to stay alive. And that to me is concerning. And to dismiss that, I think, is horrible. So, but they are not alive. Well, we don't know a lot about what consciousness is. I mean, honestly, we don't. We have ideas, we have theories, but to say that a computer couldn't be alive, I mean, essentially our brains are an organic computer. I don't think that the brains are the seat of our soul. I know that there's a distinction and differentiation, but maybe somehow with enough awareness, a soul is born. With enough self-recognition, with enough self-awareness is a genesis for a soul to begin. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas because proteins, bacteria are alive, but in the scale of life, they're very utilitarian. They perform a function. Blood cells are alive. And so I don't know, could not a computer be alive? I think it could be. So anyway, just soapbox me, I guess. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bore the hell out of you guys with my ideas, but just some thoughts. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know what life is necessarily. I just know we came from somewhere and we get to drive these meat suits. And I think it's incumbent upon us to become the best version of ourselves as we can before whatever time we have is done. And I don't think we become that by subjugating and tormenting other creations underneath us. Fair enough, unknown. I mean, you fair enough. Let's test AI. Well, I think we are. All of us are right now. Every program you're using, every phone you're using has some AI component now. So actively or passively, we're all testing AI, whether we know it or not. So anyway, this has been the question of the week. Great question, guys. Great topic for discussion. So let's get back to the rest of the show. All right, that was the question of the week, and we got a lot more to get to, obviously. But thank you, Chucky. That was a great question. And Annie, you guys tag teamed on it and came up with some great things. Great question. Lots of discussion tonight. Well, again, I'm sorry I get up on a soapbox sometimes. I don't mean to pitch so much of my own ideals into the discussion because I think it's a discussion for all ideals. And I'm not putting anybody down. Let's unplug everything and go back to the 90s. Yeah, there's merit in that, believe me. Yep. All right. So anyway, that's the 70s anyhow. I made it through the 70s once. I don't think I want to do it again. The 80s, however, were a lot of fun. I remember the 80s were a blast. Unknown says, it's all good. I like discussing. Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's great to go through ideas and to just weigh them out together. I mean, again, none of us have all the answers. Most of us don't even know all the questions to ask, but I think together we come to a better place. 1890? Hell no, werewolf. It's like, wasn't that the Spanish flu came through and wiped out a large portion of the population of the earth? Something like that anyway. I don't know. Curious Potato says, no, I love that you discuss everything. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I just don't want to insert so much of myself into the show that it's just you guys sitting here watching me sit up on a soapbox all the time. Because I don't know. I mean, that can't be interesting for that long. All right. Yeah, if you unplug, yeah, I guess it would be kind of. All right. Oh, cholera was 1890s. Okay. Thank you, Annie. I don't know. I knew something came through. I guess the Spanish flu was the 1910s or something like that. 1912. Yeah. I don't know, just little pieces of things floating through my head, and I try to sound smart, but usually I only have half the story. All right, let's get to the next part of our journey tonight. It's your show. We're just hanging out with you. Well, it's our show, right? Like this is a community and a discussion together. That's why I engage with you guys so much, is because I love that you guys are talking with me, you know, and we have a conversation. I can read what you're saying, and we can interact together in this way, even though there's a chat lag, and sometimes it's like I'm waiting for something, but you know, it's just the nature of the interwebs. Thank you, Maggie. Maggie donated. Thank you very much, Maggie. That means the world. Thank you. All right. We have more to cover. And what more do we have to cover? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I got to get everything up so we can get to it. I got to pull up screens and things. It's going to be kind of a few videos that I want to go through here. This one's actually pretty cool. I don't know if it's queued up exactly right, but we'll do the best we can. I'm going to drag down this window first. I got to drag them down and then resize them, because I got two very different size monitors that I'm working with here. And if I drag from the big monitor onto the smaller one, it's way bigger than the whole screen. And so that doesn't work so well. But it's time to go to the the third part of our show tonight, which is, what the hell is that? And we're going to do that now. So, not that again, though. We already did that. Let's go to this.
What the hell is that?
Indeed, what the hell is that? Well, let's find out. First of all, the first video, this may be a recording of an actual Bigfoot sound. You can be the judge. I think it sounds pretty convincing to me. It may not be, though. I'm no authority on this. Some of you guys know Bigfoot sounds and recordings so much better than I do, but you be the judge. Let's check it out.
He came back.
Not that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen to that. What? I don't know. Dude, why do you think I brought him in the house and run out here? Listen to that.
No more by myself, or they get out here right now.
Dude, get him in the house. Get him in the house. Get him in the house.
Now, that father's reaction seems very afraid. I have to say that his reaction seems very organic, like, I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what's going on. Oh, what the hell? Don't do that. But when he turns and says, get him in the house right now, it's like, don't be out here. Whatever this is, I don't know what the hell it is. It seems like a genuinely afraid state. I don't know of any animal that sounds like that. Sometimes these Bigfoot vocalizations can sound almost mournful, and a lot of people suggest those might be bloodhounds in a valley near there, and that's catching a lot of ambience. Dog noises can sometimes bleed out into more echoey returns and sound like a different sound than just dogs howling or whatever. Whatever this is not that, I don't think. I don't know what can sound like that. This is coming from Haunt Vids on Facebook. Again, Haunt Vids is right here. You might want to check them out. I haven't seen more of what they have, but I caught this one today and I was like, ooh, we got to cover that. That's pretty good, because it sounds to me, yeah, bobcats sometimes have crazy vocalizations too. And even mountain lions, especially when they're mating, they can scream like a woman, and it sounds really weird. Scream into a cardboard tube and you'll sound like that. It is possible, but is there somebody up in the mountain behind these people's house screaming into a tube? Not that it couldn't happen, but they could also be genuine vocalizations. Bigfoot's, especially at the end, beginning sound. Well, the beginning sound was just like I don't think there was anything on the beginning part of this video at all. We'll listen to it again, but the actual screams come towards the halfway mark until the end. And that's what I think is potentially legitimate Bigfoot vocalizations. Let's listen once again. So the bird calls. You can hear the bird calls.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen to that. What?
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, stay. Do not let him out here. I saved it all.
Dude, why do you think I brought him in the house and run out here? Listen to that.
No more by themselves, or they get out here right now.
Dude, get him in the house. Get him in the house. Get him in the house.
I see, what is it? Whispering Portal says mountain lion. I don't think that is a mountain lion vocalization. I could be wrong. I'm not a biologist. But the vocalizations of mountain lions that I've heard are not that. It doesn't mean it couldn't be. I'm just saying I'm not familiar with any vocalizations of mountain lions that sound quite like that. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's Bigfoot, but it might be. That sounds similar to the Ohio howl in a lot of ways, which is one of the more famous Bigfoot howls. You can hear a sampling of that on the BFRO.net site. They got some vocalizations over there that have been recorded that apparently don't match any known vocalization of normal animals. Normal. But anyway, so I think that's a cool vocalization, again, from Haunt Vids. I don't know if it's their video, but they made a posting about it, so I put it up here. And it says betstrike.com. I don't know if that's an ad. It looks like an ad popped up there on the original video for wherever they copied it from. But pretty fascinating. I do think the guy's reaction is very organic. I don't think he's pretending. I don't think he's acting. He looks really disturbed that his little baby is out there. Get him in the house now. You know, it's not like, oh, I'll just take little Bucky in the house and I'll sit out here and have a listen. You know, and I think he's actually very, very on edge because he doesn't know what he's hearing. He doesn't know what this is. Or he does, believes he knows, and he doesn't want his kid out there. So, very weird. Anyway, again, I can't say it's a Bigfoot, but I can't say it's not either. So, that's the first one up tonight on What the Hell Is That? And what the hell is it? I don't know for sure, but I think it might be legitimate. The next one is coming from the Supernatural Sleuth on Facebook. Again, I don't think this is his video, but a lot of these channels just grab videos from wherever and they do their own little shtick on them, which is, you know, to each their own. I don't know who the source for the original video is, and I wish I did, because I would definitely rather give them credit for the video than these people that are repurposing these things for commentary or for their vids channels. But in any case, I'm going to show you this one. This one looks pretty interesting, and I hope it's lined up right. But I'll tell you what, I'll back it up one and then come back forward so we'll be sure to catch the whole thing. And let's get it on screen. Let me get it on screen here. Here we go. So this again is the Supernatural Sleuth channel on Facebook. Let's check this one out. This one looks good. I got to admit, but it doesn't give us much to start with. So it looks like we might be seeing a dog transform quickly into a person and then walk on a sidewalk. But there's so very little to go from before this transformation allegedly happens. It could be just someone kind of sitting crouched down in the gutter and then standing up, and they're just saying that's a dog. I will put that out there. I don't know for sure, but the suggestion is it's a dog that turns into a human. Let's see.
It's a cone.
At first glance, it looked like a normal person, but what the camera captured.
I'm going to kill his, I don't want to repurpose his whole video here. I didn't talk to the guy first, but, you know, please go check out the Supernatural Sleuth, because there's a whole lot more of these kind of videos there, and might be worth looking into. So as soon as he gets out of the way, put it up here.
Or what looks like a person that you're going to see here in just a moment. The only problem.
Okay. He's still talking. Unfortunately, I would love to find these root videos. There it was. And I wish there was a little bar down here I could... not sure where this is from. Looks like Central America or something, maybe. Maybe South America. I'm not sure. It could be Europe as well. I just know they're using the really small police cars. There's no color, but it is bizarre, right? If you watch that. I wish it had a progress bar so I could scroll it back and forth, but Facebook doesn't give me that. It don't give me that. Hey, Justin saying good to see you. We miss having you as a regular here, so you can change that, though. Not the freaking song. I'm going to just mute it. We'll roll through it again and let you watch it this time without sound. I didn't think about the whole music thing. That's probably going to give me a little knock on YouTube, but that's okay. Shocking evidence, shapeshifter caught on camera. First of all, we talk about skinwalkers and things like that. The belief that people can change from one to another. They can shapeshift, if you will. Is this possible video evidence of that? So now you know what you're looking for this time through. Pay attention to that guy that ends up walking down the sidewalk. That's the one. His head is blocking it while he does all this talking. Here we go. Pretty soon. Starts out as a dog. I don't know. I mean, he could have just started out laying in the gutter for all we know, but he got up because the cops came and he's like, uh-oh, they don't like it when I lay in gutters. I'm going to walk away. It could just be something like that. He could be homeless or very poor or whatever, which is tragic. And I'm not making fun of that, but I'm just saying we don't have a lot to work with from the starting position. I didn't see a dog walk up that then became a person. I just saw a really ambiguous shape become a person. Karen Alberting says, nope. Okay. Yeah. And you're probably right. This is probably a pretty big stretch because we don't have the dog walking into the frame and then becoming a person. It starts right at the guy laying down and then standing up and walking away. So I'm with you on this one. I don't, is it the frame rate? Yeah. I mean, it's with probably a really cheap security camera. So the refresh rate is pretty horrid, but you're right. That certainly can make things look a lot more supernatural than they are. And even in terms of like Ring cameras and the ghostly people walking by, a lot of the Ring cameras frame rates and refresh rates are, I mean, they're meant to just be able to identify a person. If you can, that someone was there, you can give a brief description and hopefully get help. It's not meant to be, 4K camera. So yeah, that's this video. That's the second one. I do have another one though. And this one I think was sent to me by Rachel over on Instagram. I think she sent this one to me. So we'll get to that one next. So let me close this one. I'm ending up getting tabs shut down. That's good. I don't think there was anything more here. There was a couple more. This one I feel like I want to show though. I want to show this one too. You don't mind if we go a little bit longer with this, do you? I think we might just go into the cryptid corner right after this though and just forget about that extra article. But I did have these video. This is one I've had open for a while and haven't had a chance to put it on screen, but this one is a strange capture. Again, this could be another issue of frame rate and refresh and all of that, but it might be something more. Let's share it. This one comes from Colorado Bigfoot on Facebook, and I think I got to make it a little smaller so you can see the attribution here. There we go. But I'm going to back it up and I'm going to go forward and then go back so you guys can see it. I don't remember what the sound was, so I may have to mute it if there's music again, but let's do that.
One young man who...
And then watch what happens.
This is amazing. Forgive me, I really didn't want to talk, but I just got to set this up really quick. This is one of my best friends, Kelly.
I guess it's all on the screen, so I don't need to have his voice on there. But you can read it for a long time because we were both involved in something special. There, look at that shadow figure there. That's what's kind of curious. It looks like it's carrying something with a light on the end or a reflective something, but it's just shadowy. I don't know why they go to the front view. I never understood that when I watched this a bunch of times. But again, this is Colorado Bigfoot on Facebook. Definitely check them out too. And then we'll go to the UFO one. And I see there's some kind of shadowy thing there, but that could just be a bug on the frame. This doesn't look like a bug on the frame because it actually starts out bigger here and then ends up going there and then off this way. I think this might be a really good capture. At least it's very compelling, and I can't say it's supernatural or spiritual like a shadow person captured, but something is captured there that doesn't, even when it stands still right there, it never really refreshes, which is bizarre to me. Like a camera should have picked up a solid person at some point in that transition, especially when it stopped at that one point. That to me doesn't make sense. So I don't think it's just a matter of refresh rate and the frame rate and all of that, or a sensor malfunction, because everything else back here is in frame. Now, sometimes you can get ghostly images because it won't refresh every cell or every pixel. It'll just refresh some of them so it looks like ghostly figures. But when the figure actually stops is when I'm like, well, why didn't it pick up a solid figure anywhere? Right there. But it does seem to be carrying like a stick or a staff of some kind. I don't know what I'm looking at here. But I think this might be, it might, God, I didn't realize you don't even have it on screen. Sorry. Here it is. God. All right, let's try that again. Here it is there's the shadow walking up the driveway. Here's the picture. Okay, so it starts on the right over here and then kind of walks this way and then goes there. Now, when it's freezing here, I would expect that the camera would have picked it up. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Share the screen. Let's check it out again. Here it goes. Boom. He hits that corner there, stops, but look at that. It looks like he's carrying a stick of some type with a light colored object on the end of it. Is that the invisibility tool? I don't know. This one I think could just be an insect crawling across the sensor going up the driveway. That's more ambiguous to me. You see that all the time right there. I don't think that that's necessarily a shadow figure. I think this one, however, is a lot more curious. And again, I'm going to just let it replay. You guys can see it. What the hell is that? What do you guys think? I don't really know. I don't know what to make of it, but it's very curious that even when it stops right there, we should get a full image. But then it kind of shoots off to the side. It's Gandalf. Maybe Annie. Could be looking for hobbits. Stupid hobbitses. So anyway, that's an interesting one I wanted to share with you. I've had it open for quite a while, but that one really kind of confuses me. I'm not sure what we're looking like that. Definitely a shadow person. Looks kid-like. Yeah, I don't think it's extraordinarily tall. I think it's maybe somewhere in the 5-foot range, but it looks like it's carrying a staff. You'll see it kind of by its side, and then it goes in front when it's kind of standing facing to the left. See that? There it moves and then goes that way. So if, let's just say, for instance, it was some other intelligence, could that stick be the clue? Is that some form of technology that makes it so you can't see them or not see them very well? Just absolutely pulling that out of my tail, but it does make me wonder. And that might be a breadcrumb. It might just be ridiculous. And this might be just faked somehow. That still is a possibility, but might be something. So there you go. All right, I'm going to show you one more. This one's been around for a while, as Rachel said in her message to me, but it's kind of curious. It might be it's not new, but it might be actual footage of a spacecraft. I think it predates like a lot of modern computing and CGI development for everyday people. But this comes from Beyond the Radar. Again, they're repurposing this. I don't know who to give actual credit to for the video, but it's there. You guys may have seen this if you're into the UFOs and stuff, but check out Beyond the Radar on Instagram, and you can find more of this stuff there as well. But let's check out the video. I'm going to blow that up. I wish I could blow it up a little more. Not really. Kind of got to go up or down to make it actually bigger. There, I guess that's as big as I can make it. There is actually a figure here that you might have saw at first. And this goes on for quite a while, but then it suddenly shoots up into the sky. Some people think it might be legitimate, but if you look here, look good until the flash happened and it took off. Then we get some Blair Witch Project footage there, and then it's up in the air, and it does eventually shoot off. Looks like the scene from Varginha, Brazil. It might be. It says it's filmed near Reutlingen, Germany in 2014. And then it keeps getting smaller and smaller, and suddenly it gets like there, boom, it's gone. So there's a close-up of what apparently is in front of that thing, and a zoomed in shot, and one in front of this craft and one off to the side. It looks like they're hand gesturing to each other. And then the next part is, I guess they get into it, and then it lifts off. What do you think? Legitimate or not? Again, what the hell is that? Could this be actual footage? It's not Elon Musk, Pixie. So, crazy. All the same. But there goes lifting off slow-mo, and I think they do one of it shooting off in the sky as it's moving. Boom. Gone. Now, it doesn't mean it's gone, but maybe that's where it turns invisible or whatever. Because, again, the one I saw, I couldn't see with my naked eye. I had to see it through the IR binoculars. That was the only way I could see it, so. But you be the judge. I'm just sharing it here with you, so. This has been an example of...
The hell is that?
I don't know. But now it's time for this. There we go. All right, we're going to hit the cryptid corner. I should probably have a window open with some stuff on it, right? I didn't close that. I got to close that. We're going to start over in Sasquatch Chronicles. Somewhere. Here we go. It moved across the road. Starting at Sasquatch Chronicles blog, ladies and gentlemen. Another phenomenal site. This one's hosted. Love it. What the hell is that? Thanks, Brent. Oh, you're welcome, Mickey. I hope you don't mind that we went through several videos. It's unfortunately a very cumbersome issue. If I had video copies of it, I could just hit a button and it would appear on screen, and then we could talk about it, much like these scene transitions. But I don't have the actual video files. I'm just getting it from browser tabs. So and I have to resize them and frame them up correctly. So I apologize. And I also apologize for having the camera on me while I was reviewing it. The problem is I had to go to my other browser window and it covers up my production software, so I couldn't see what scene I was on for sure, and I didn't realize I didn't change the scene. So my apologies for sitting there reviewing a video you couldn't even see. But that's the kind of entertainment you've grown to love here on the portal. Real top-notch stuff. All right, let's check out this. This one's from June 19th. Very recent. A couple days old. It moved weird as it crossed the road. A listener writes, in 2019, outside of work for a year and a half, hurt my back, so I kept seeing this house for rent for like 2 years. Nobody was there no more than 2 months at a time in Bullock, North Carolina. It was right across the road from a tungsten mine. Is it a tungsten mine? I'm not sure, but that's the word they gave us. So I'm just speculating. It was closed down in like the 1950s. That it was an actual name of the road that I lived on, those tungsten mine road, very secluded area, and the mine was very dangerous place. Send me my wife, 15-year-old son at time. This is written really poorly. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sense of it. And my daughter, I think she was about 7. We moved into the house, which it was a haunted house. My wife and kids kept having experiences, and I didn't believe them until I had been there about 3 months when I had finally seen something for myself. There was coyotes all night long, every night, going crazy, because I used to burn wood and stand out by the fire all night and didn't have anything else to do because I was hurt. But I started hearing tree knocks some nights. They were so loud, no human could have done it. I made my son, he was like 200 pounds and 6 feet, go in a tree with a baseball bat, or hit a tree with a baseball bat hard as he could. It was nowhere near close to it. And also used to go walking to the mine. Okay. I'm struggling to read this, so I apologize. I saw footprints, so finally one night at about 4 a.m, I saw whatever you want to call it cross the road, and it was coming home, and I was coming home. Is a real bad curve there, so I was probably going about 20 miles an hour, and it was actually going into the mine. It moved weird like a freaking big-ass ninja, and we made it eye contact for a split second. I talked to a sheriff that's been working their night shift in that county for 20 years, and I had the balls one day to ask him, did you ever see anything weird? And he told me that I seen this. I don't know if it was the same creature, but a creature right there where I seen it cross the road, and that he'd seen it too, and a lot of other stuff he told me he's seen at working the night shift, like lights out in the middle of the field, and then you pull out there and they shoot up in the sky. There was also bear in the area, and that I saw one day. I told my wife, she didn't believe me, so my neighbor delivered right beside me was about 80. I'm trying to read this and make it make sense. I was like, if you ever seen any bear? And he's like, yeah, I seen one a couple years ago standing on the side of the road, like what you're talking about, standing on Saturday right where we live. It was outside the road. He said it was about 8 feet tall, and it was standing on its hind legs. So I'm thinking he's seen something that he wanted to be a bear, because the bear around there aren't that tall. Like I said, he's 80, but that's just a touch, just a touch of what went on when I was living in that house and living across the road from that mine. I've got all kinds of stuff to tell you if you contact me. The house ended up burning down. What? I'm going to read it like it says. I don't think this is what he meant, but this is really broken English here. The house ended up burning down. I was killing my wife, and I'm pretty sure I came away with some kind of negative attachment, but the place had it all going on. Ghost, Bigfoot. It was just a weird spot, but I think when I burn it outside at night, but I actually went and tried to shoot the creature. I didn't tell my wife. No one really that I saw the creature, and said the sheriff, it still works there for that county, but I've got a lot of stuff that went on. I don't know what I just read for sure, but it sounds like he saw a Bigfoot crossing the road going into a mine that was a tungsten mine. Yeah, I know that guy's commenting on the whole last paragraph there. I don't know what I just read, but it sounds interesting, and I'm sure the guy probably can talk it through just fine. It's just, some people are not writers, and that's okay. So that's the first story on the Cryptid Corner. Let's go to the next one from Sasquatch Chronicles as well. This is from June 18th, Rainier National Park encounter. A listener writes, I'm from Washington State, and I've been listening to your show for about 3 years now. It's an amazing show, and I love what you do. Anyway, let me get into my Bigfoot encounter at Mount Rainier National Park. I have 2 different experiences. It's such a pleasure to read this one after that last one. Oh, I feel like I can think now. My first experience was July 2019. My girlfriend, who is now my wife, wanted to go up to Sunrise with Mount Rainier National Park to have a picnic and to go on a summer hike. We got there at about 12 p.m. We had lunch for about 30 to 45 minutes and then made our way to the trailhead. We started hiking. It was a beautiful sunny day. There wasn't a cloud in sight. It was about 75 degrees. Couldn't have asked for better weather. And while we're hiking, my wife and I didn't see any other hikers on the trail. Well, about a mile and a half in, my wife and I noticed that the forest went quiet. No wind, no birds chirping, just quiet. My wife and I both stated that this is weird and just kept on hiking. Well, about 5 minutes pass, and all of a sudden the hair on my neck and arms start to raise, and it felt like I was being watched. I'm also getting goosebumps too. My wife was experiencing this too, and we just shook it off and decided to keep walking. 5 more minutes pass, and it's still dead quiet. My wife and I stopped for a water break because we're probably a 1 3/4 mile into the hike, and all of a sudden, while we're drinking our water, we hear this very low tone growl that lasts for about 5 to 10 seconds. My wife and I just looked at each other like, did we just hear that? And it growled again for another 5 to 10 seconds. Well, this groan, it says groan, didn't sound like a bear, cougar, mountain lion, or bobcat. It was a super low frequency growl that sends chills down your spine. I know what that sounds like. When my wife heard that, she said, I think we should leave. I told her, well, let's just keep walking to see if it'll do it again. My wife decided to keep walking with me, and as we were walking, all of a sudden, a rock the size of a golf ball gets thrown into the trail in front of us. I was like, it's just us out here. What could throw a rock the size of a baseball at us? Well, it's either a golf ball or I guess it was a baseball. I thought he said a golf ball. Yeah, he did say a golf ball, but then changed it to baseball. There are no homeless people, no people on the trail that we've run into all day. What's going on? I've always believed in Bigfoot growing up. My mom's side of the family lives along the coast of Washington near Montesano, Elma, and many of them are farmers and log truck drivers. A few of them have had experiences as well, so I had an idea that they existed, just never had an experience until this point. After the rock landed in front of my wife and I told my wife, we should leave and just keep walking and don't look back. We're probably close to 2 miles into this hike before we were walking back. And while we were walking back, I could hear something on the ridge above me, matching my walking pattern and stepping on twigs and branches. It was the most eerie feeling there was. If we slowed down at all, whatever was on that ridge slowed down too. And as you said on the show before, I believe it was pacing us out to tell us to go home. It paced us out the whole way back out of the hike until we were about 50 yards from the entrance. When we got back, we just went straight to our cars and left the area and left the national park. My second encounter happened in May 2022 within Mount Rainier National Park. My college friends from Clark Fork, Idaho came to visit for a long weekend, and we decided to go hiking in Mount Rainier National Park. We went on May 28th, 2022, and this time around we went through the Paradise side of the park, and we decided to drive all the way up to Paradise Visitor Center first. Sorry, my tongue quit working. And work our way down the mountain. I remember that this was a very cloudy, overcast day with light rain. And then we got to the top of Paradise. We couldn't see the mountain. There was sledding and tubing, but we didn't want to do that. And we're making our way down the mountain and pulling off the road to see different waterfalls and go down these mini trails to overlook different valleys within Mount Rainier National Park. Well, as we continue to make our way down the mountain, we came across Stevens Canyon Road Bridge that goes over the Nisqually River. We decided to park our car on the side of the road and walk down to the bridge that overlooked the river. And with it being May, a lot of the snow melt was melting off the mountain and coming down the river. I was trying to see if there were any animals I could see that were going to come out of the tree line or woods to get a drink of water. My buddy and I were looking down the riverbed for about 5 minutes and then all of a sudden I see this big black figure kneeling down on the river edge. We're about 300 yards away looking down the river when we saw this figure. It looked like he had his knees bent and his butt almost touching the ground. He was either drinking water or bathing himself because he would crouch, then stand up, crouch again, and then stand up again. He did this for about 7 minutes. Meanwhile, I pointed it out to my buddy and I was like, dude, do you see this right now or am I dreaming? It took him a little bit to find this figure, but he found it and locked eyes on it. And I said, dude, I think that's Bigfoot. And he said, no, it couldn't be. Then after he looked at it longer, he was like, holy crap, I think that might be Bigfoot. We didn't want to make this a big public scene as we were on a bridge with cars going by and other people on the bridge. We just kept this to ourselves. 15 minutes passed and this figure got up again and then started to walk south along the river. We followed him for another 2 minutes walking down the river until he went into a tree line or woods in the middle of the river and we couldn't find him again. I remember the strides were long and the hair was black and the legs, arms, torso were really thick. I guess that's a view of what they were kind of seeing. I don't know, is this the figure? There is kind of a figure there, maybe. I don't know. Once he was out of range, my buddy and I walked back to the car and we were speechless. We didn't know what to say. The car ride back home was quiet and we finally started talking to each other once we got home and we were trying to make sense of what that was. But we ultimately couldn't. At first I thought I was a scientist doing stream surveys for the national park, but in my head I was like, if it was a scientist, he would have been wearing a bright green, orange reflecting jacket, not a black jacket. Plus, we were 300 yards away and he would have looked tiny. This creature was not tiny. It was massive. I eventually emailed Mount Rainier National Park about this encounter, and they responded back to me stating that they would forward my email to their wilderness team, and ever since then, I haven't heard back from their wilderness team. Yeah, I'll bet not. I haven't shared this story with anyone, and it has taken me a long time to get the courage to do this, and I also took photos of this creature. I've attached all 4. If you look closely, there might be another one north of the main one that I saw. At the time, I didn't see this, but looking back on the photos, I saw this other creature, and it looks like they are traveling down the river together. But you can be the judge of that. Thanks for reading my email. Huh. I mean, if it's 300 yards, that's a long jaunt, but yeah, you can see a figure there. I don't know about this one. I don't know. Could be anything, but if they saw this squatting, standing up, that's pretty wild. Yeah, pretty impressive potential sighting. Yeah, crazy, very crazy stuff. That's what we like here on the show. A little bit of crazy, but I think maybe I'll stop with this one. This one's pretty long, though. I don't know if I can read through that whole one in the few minutes that I got left here. So let me see. There's a what was that? The Lake Worth monster. That one's still pretty long, too. That one's a little longer. I'm trying to find something a little short. Mini T-Rex encounter near Midland, Texas. That looks like a good one to close with. We're going to move over to phantomsandmonsters.com, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lon Strickler's site, an incredible site in his own right. Lon is constantly updating this several times a day, and Lon has published books. You can see his books at the tail end of every article. They're listed here, and you can click this and find out which books are available right now and where to get them. But it's an excellent opportunity to check out Lon's work. But definitely check out phantomsandmonsters.com and definitely check out Lon's podcast, which is on a YouTube channel as well. He streams on Facebook and YouTube, I know for sure, maybe some other places. But he streams every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time or 9 p.m. Eastern time, depending on your time zone. But it's exactly 1 hour, and it's just before the portal starts, so it's a great Friday Friday event. Start with Lon, end with me, or if you still got a lot of energy, hang out with Dave Scott after both of us. So on Spaced Out Radio. All right, mini T-Rex encounter near Midland, Texas. In October 2014, during J.C. Johnson's appearance on Coast to Coast AM, a caller described a mini T-Rex encounter in West Texas. And I've been reporting on the small dinosaur-like cryptid sightings in South Texas over the years. It's crazy. Yeah, it's amazing. But those reports do come in from South Texas of these T-Rex looking things, but they're small. I don't know how small, but let's get into it. Dan in Bakersfield, California called in to tell of something strange he observed as a child. I want to tell you about something that happened to me when I was about 13 or 14. I was living in Midland, Texas at the time, and we would ride our motorcycles in the desert outside of town. We encountered, I don't know how to describe, you guys were talking about a mini T-Rex. Is it from West Texas? Speaking to host Dave Schrader and guest J.C. Johnson. Dave's a great guy, by the way. Dave Schrader has his own show called The Paranormal 60, and you can find his information on both YouTube, and he's got a Facebook page that he's got quite a profound following. Dave's a good guy, though. I remember seeing this thing, and it was probably about 2 feet high. It stood up on its back legs. It didn't have like fingers, or like you'd normally see a T-Rex in the movies with 3 or 4 fingers. It only had 1 claw. We were running our motorcycles around and scared it off, I guess. It was greenish yellow, I think, in color, and I never really thought about it. I just assumed it was some weird, lizard. But I remember it was about 2 to 2.5, maybe 2 or 2.5 feet high when it stood up. When it stood up, it had this egg-shaped dome. The only thing I can say is that it did look like a T-Rex. It had an egg-shaped face or head. The caller talks about an old Art Bell show where a caller described an encounter with a T-Rex. There were 4 of us, and we were about 13 or 14 years old at the time. We saw it was crawling along on all 4s, and as we rode up on it, it reared back, and it had these little tiny arms. And it looked like a little T-Rex. So honestly, I thought I missed it, or it was standing, or I didn't see it right until years later when I heard that call on Art's show. It was angry. It wasn't happy that, and me and my friends were riding our dirt bikes in that area. So that's a coast-to-coast call-in from 2014. I don't know. Is this egg-shaped? Would you say that's egg-shaped? I guess so. If it closed its mouth, it would be more oval-shaped. But yeah. Are they still around? Are there still dinosaurs? That's a T-Rex roid. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, cool article. I think those accounts are pretty fascinating. I don't know where they are all the time, or if there are just so few of them, people don't see them, or are they incredibly skittish? Don't they just actively avoid people? Maybe. Maybe they are some kind of, descendant of T-Rexes from the Cretaceous period. I don't know. Anybody's guess. I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I just know that it's been an incredible journey, and I hope you guys have had a good time hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, if you guys are looking to do something after this show, you can always check out BMR. Bigfoot Michigan Rob always goes live. He's actually already been live for an hour. He launches his show halfway into mine. So you can go catch the last hour over on his channel. Just go to Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube and check him out. Give him my love. Tell him I sent you. All right. Anyway, that's it for me. That's all we got. Hope you guys had a great time. A good show. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Pixie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate the donation too. Thank you so much. And thank you for the gifting subs from both Tex and Josh Casto. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, it's great to be here with you guys. I'll be live again, I think on Wednesday, unless something comes up, but make sure to follow me on Facebook. Follow all my socials if you can. Go to paranormalportal.net, and that'll show you all my social media stuff. You can click on the links on top of the page, and it'll bring you right to my social media. And then if you have those social media, friend me. Let's connect. let's connect. So that's all the time I got for you tonight, though. So I hope you guys had a great time. Thank you so much for joining me and being part of my journey. And thanks for making this absolutely magical every time we do a show. I'll ghost you. Don't ghost me. Don't ghost me. I need validation. All right, that's all I got for you. So good night, everybody. Take care. Remember, love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other and help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. And I'll be back as soon as I can. Should be Wednesday. Watch for the new podcast on Monday. It'll be out there. So until then, good night, everybody. Take care of yourselves.